The room at the end of the hall. In an old, abandoned sanatorium hidden deep within a forest, there was a room at the end of a long, decaying hallway that no one dared to enter. The stories surrounding it were as old as the building itself. Decades ago, it had been a place where the gravely ill were quarantined. Many had died within its walls, their final moments filled with agony and despair. Some believed their restless spirits remained trapped there, unable to move on. The room was sealed long ago, the door bound with a heavy chain. Yet, it was said that on stormy nights, faint whispers could be heard coming from the hallway. Some claimed to see shadows slipping through the cracks beneath the door. Over time, even the bravest dared not approach it. One particularly cold and stormy evening, the door was found open. No one saw it happen, but by morning, the chain lay broken on the floor and the door stood ajar. The caretaker of the property, an older man tasked with keeping vandals away, noticed the change during his nightly patrol. He hesitated for a moment, clutching his flashlight tightly before stepping closer. As he reached the doorway, a wave of freezing air swept past him. His flashlight flickered and dimmed, barely illuminating the room beyond. Inside, the air smelled of rot and mildew, and the walls were stained with something dark that trailed down to the warped wooden floor. The room was bare except for an old hospital bed pushed into the corner, its mattress torn and stained. And then he heard it, a soft, broken whisper, as though someone was struggling to speak. It came from the bed. He stepped closer, his breath shallow and his pulse racing. As the light of his flashlight landed on the bed, the whispering stopped. For a moment, there was only silence. Then the bed creaked, as if someone invisible had shifted their weight on it. The caretaker froze, his legs refusing to obey his instincts to flee. Slowly, he raised the beam of his flashlight to the headboard. There was a figure, a pale, emaciated face stared back at him, its sunken eyes black as the void. The mouth moved, though no sound came. A hand, thin, skeletal, reached out toward him, its fingers unnaturally long. The caretaker stumbled back, dropping his flashlight as the figure rose from the bed. The room plunged into darkness, and the last thing he heard before everything went silent was a sharp, guttural scream, his own. By morning, the door to the room was closed again, the chain back in place as if it had never been broken. But the caretaker was gone. All that remained was his flashlight, lying in the middle of the hallway, its bulb shattered. No one ever saw him again.